Okay, so we can see now that we're on the main branch. We haven't made any commits. That means we haven't committed any changes to the project locally, right? Now we want to retrieve all files from the GitLab servers, which is currently just the README, and we do this with git pull. For a fresh repository, you'll need to tell Git where to pull from, namely from the repository on GitLab, which is called origin, and from the main branch. Git will remember this, so if you're jumping into a project midway, this will already have been set up and you can just write git pull. You'll get some information, it's not really important right now, just go into the project folder and you'll see that we now have access to the README file. Now, what we can do is change this README file. So get rid of all this stuff, something like that. Go back to the terminal. If we now write git status, it tells us that we have modified the README file. To send this back to the servers, we first need to add it to sort of it's called a staging. So, okay, let me find, there is this interesting diagram. Cool. So Git is split up into multiple stages, sort of. So the remote repository, right? That's the servers of Git. That's here. And then local repository is this Git folder. Whenever you're done working on a file, you'll want to use git add in order to tell Git that this is a file we want to send to the GitLab servers. If you just write that by itself, it's going to give you some hints as to what to do. Right, git add, and then since we're in this folder, we don't need to add that. We can just write R. And I think if you hit tab, it's going to autocomplete to find that file. And now if you do git status again, Git has staged this file. To unstage it, use the command git reset. And then if you do git status again, now it's back to the way it was. Another way you can add files is by using git add and star. Star is kind of a wildcard for anything. It will add any changes that you've made in your local workspace and stage it. So git status, and we're back to being staged. You can also make changes to this file. My second edit. Type git status, and you can now see that we're telling Git that only some of these changes should be sent to GitLab, namely the first set of changes that we added, but not the second. So if you add your changes and then make more modifications to the file, then you need to add it again in order to send those changes to the servers. In order to record your changes to the project history, you just write git commit. This will open a text editor called Vim right within command prompt, so that you can write a description for your commit. This is how you communicate with the rest of your team about how you change the project. Let's write a message here, like removed unnecessary instructions in readme.md. To save this file, you have to hit escape and then shift ZZ. It's really annoying to do it this way. So let's do this again, but enter the description in a more convenient way. Change files, git status, and now we can see we've made some changes. Add the files with git add. Yeah, and now we want to commit these changes on top of our last changes. And the way to do this in a less complicated way is to write git commit and then -m, and you can write the message right here instead of opening a text editor. Like something like this.